We're back.
We are back.
I'm so excited to be back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so relieved. So thank you for bearing with us with our 2-week hiatus that was unplanned.
Quite unplanned.
So I want to start today by saying thank you to you.
Aww.
Because I would not have come out of these last 2 weeks on top without you.
Aww.
So I'm super grateful.
It's my pleasure.
And to you, all of you that wished us good luck and prayers and just your words of kindness, I cannot begin to convey how much gratitude I have for you all in my heart. My heart is overflowing, so thank you all. It was the roughest 9 days of my life, and my husband's on the mend. So he had a life-threatening illness. He's out of the woods as of right now and on the mend. So
yes,
thank you all for your kindness and your support and allowing us to take the time that we needed away from you. And I hope we were still able to answer your questions if you had them. I don't really remember a lot from the last 2 weeks.
It's okay. Yeah, not too many people asked their questions. Maybe they were waiting for the lives.
Maybe.
Which is good. Ask away. Well, that's why we are here tonight.
Yep.
We may not be as organized. Well, we were never really organized before.
My brain's still on the fritz a little bit. So here's what I want from y'all. All of you that are watching, I would love for you to say hello in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from. And then as you have questions or if we cover something and you want to know more, let us know. We want to answer your questions. We want them to be specific for you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get started.
Let's do. What are you cooking for us tonight, Kat?
So my mother-in-law got off the plane on the 5th and had this book with her, which is so ironic because that week we were supposed to talk about anti-inflammatory foods. So she graciously loaned me this book today.
Good.
And it's got some really simple, 5-ingredient recipes in it. And I think water does not count as an ingredient. So 6.
So maybe 6.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I decided we're going to do an easy lentil soup.
Okay.
So onion, celery. I added garlic because I can't not have garlic. Hi, Florette. Very, very wonderful to have you with us.
Yes, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So, and then I'm going to go over what inflammation is and why foods can be anti-inflammatory and how we can incorporate those with dysphagia. So we're going to make a lovely lentil soup today.
So what can I do to start for you?
Let's get that pan heated. We'll do our olive oil. We're going to do some onion, some celery, and some garlic. And then I have some herbs over here, and then we'll add the lentils and our water, and we're just going to let that simmer as we talk. So first off, what is inflammation? So inflammation is a process that happens in your body when you have an invader. So this invader will trigger your immune system to attack. So this could be a chemical, it could be a bacteria, it could be pollen, it could be a food your body doesn't like. So an allergy or a sensitivity. And all of these things cause your body to go, hey, you're not supposed to be here, I'm gonna respond. So we all have inflammation. Inflammation is how your body protects you. So inflammation, acutely or in short bursts, is a really good thing because it helps keep you healthy. Chronic inflammation, which is long-standing, long-term, ongoing systemic response, is really hard on your body and it's not good. So the idea is to eat these foods that decrease your inflammatory response in a healthy way so that your body has the tools that it needs to mount an attack when it needs to, but it doesn't attack when it doesn't need to. So inflammation typically causes damage to your cells in your body. So the diseases that are linked to inflammation include diabetes, heart disease, cancer, arthritis, depression, go figure, that whole gut-brain interaction here, and then something like Alzheimer's or dementia. These are all immune responses to something going on in your body. So what foods help your body fight inflammation? So this book has a great explanation in the front of what foods worsen your immune system, and then also foods that help heal and encourage a healthy immune response. So the foods that we start with that are good for you and are helpful are whole grains. So these would be like oats, 100% whole grain oats. Something like farro, that is a type of wheat, but it's a whole grain. Others would be like buckwheat, millet, quinoa is one of my personal favorites. And a lot of these you can puree so that they're a smooth consistency. Brown rice is another of my favorite. Mm-hmm. If you cook brown rice long enough, it will puree nicely also. But you have to cook it like 2 or 3 times longer than you cook white rice. So we'll come back to that in a minute. And then we have fruits like apples, pineapple. These are all anti-inflammatory. Vegetables like this beautiful homegrown asparagus. Look at this stuff, it's gorgeous. So other vegetables like zucchini, eggplant, tomatoes, sweet potatoes, all of these are anti-inflammatory. And then we have quality fats. So we've talked about fats in the past. Omega-3 fatty acids are the ones that are anti-inflammatory specifically. Your other fats like omega-6s are inflammatory, and they're there for a reason because your body does need to mount an attack at times. But the omega-3s, so I brought my favorite supplement with me today because it doesn't taste like fish oil, but it's made of fish oil. So I take about a tablespoon just a day.
May I smell?
You can.
I've never tried it.
And it comes in different flavors. It's peach mango.
It smells peach mango-y.
Like peach mango, yeah. So I hate omega-3 supplements or fish oil supplements because I have a little bit of GERD. My lower esophageal sphincter isn't great. So I burp, and then I get the fish burps, and I'm not taking that. I'm not doing that. That's miserable.
But you know what? I've tried omega-3s before, and I don't have reflux or GERD or anything, and I still felt like I had fish burps.
Yep.
So that's why I stopped.
They're rough. This company, Barlean's, hands down my favorite. Is it thick liquid? It is somewhat thick. The great thing about this is you can mix it into like juice and thin it out. So like you can get like peach mango. Right now I have mango cranberry juice. It would probably go super, super well in there.
Or even just an orange juice.
Orange juice would be great too. They have different flavors of this. And so you don't have to get the peach mango. They have like orange flavored, lemon, key lime. They got a bunch of different ones. So you just find what works for you. And because it's a liquid, it's easier to take. They do have the capsules as well. But if you can't swallow a pill, that's not great for you. But this stuff, this liquid, fantastic.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Cooking on high over here. I love it.
Well, it's just...
Smells good. It's just onion, celery, and garlic. I think, and we're also going to add some zucchini. So these were canned. I just dribbled all over the place too because I'm back.
The dogs have missed you.
I make messes. I hope you all remember that. So next on my list is herbs and spices. So all of your fresh herbs, this is cilantro. I think we have over to your left, Steph, I pulled dried thyme and dried oregano. We're gonna put a little bit of that in there. So dried works just as well as fresh. And dried absorbs the liquid, and we can still puree that, and it should puree smooth. So any of your herbs and spices, I also brought turmeric because this is one of my favorites. If we wanted to, we could add a pinch of turmeric into here, and that adds another level of a little bit of flavor, and also it's anti-inflammatory. So add herbs and spices to your foods because they are working to your benefit inflammation-wise.
Now,
Yes.
may I say something?
Absolutely.
So if you need super smooth, dried spices sometimes have a hard time pureeing.
True.
It is okay to put them in a cheesecloth or some kind of bag,
Coffee filter.
a coffee filter, tie that off and put it in your broth and let the flavors come out, and then you just pull it out. That way you have the flavor, but you don't have to worry about the puree.
That is a fantastic idea. I have not done that since I was in culinary school almost 20 years ago. Or you just put it in your liquid before you put it in your soup, and you just steep it, and then you strain it out and add your liquid. Whichever works best for you. So yes, that is a fantastic recommendation. Nuts like walnuts. Walnuts high in omega-3 fats, fiber, protein. Pecans, same. Peanuts are high in omega-6s. So if you eat a ton of peanut butter, that's contributing to inflammation. So we want to, if you're eating a lot of peanut butter, my recommendation is to cut back. You don't have to eliminate it, but cut back on it because you want a higher amount of omega-3s and less omega-6s. And if you go back to our video on healthy fats, I explain that a little more in detail. So next, we have one of my favorites, tea. So tea is anti-inflammatory.
Yes.
White tea, herbal tea, even black tea, if your body can handle the caffeine, black tea and green tea are okay. If your body cannot handle the caffeine may be contributing to inflammation, so you may want to cut back on caffeine. Now, I am a coffee drinker. I know you are as well. So cutting back on caffeine can be very painful at first, so I understand. But caffeine is one of those things that can make inflammation worse. So just a thought. So that might be something to avoid. And I'm going to get to some things to avoid here shortly. But I want to talk a little bit about whole grains and why they're anti-inflammatory. So if you can see this farro here, you can see it's pretty, it's hard, right? We're going to cook this and it's going to absorb a lot of water. So the difference between white rice and brown rice is that white rice has the hull removed. That hull is fiber. So once you take that off the rice, you're left with white rice and you just have the starch left. And that starch alone is no longer anti-inflammatory because your body needs the fibrous part because that part has all your vitamins and minerals as well. And those things contribute to aiding in your body's ability to process inflammation easily. So whole grains take longer to digest. Their glycemic index is lower, which means it takes your body longer to digest, which is a good thing. We want our food to digest more slowly because then we don't get hungry as often and then we don't eat as much. And then something like white rice, super delicious. I myself have some on occasion because it's amazing.
I have a lot.
But it digests quickly because it doesn't have the fiber in it. So it's just starchy. It raises your blood sugar faster, and it's not anti-inflammatory at that point because we had all the super healthy stuff removed.
So can I interrupt real quick?
Of course.
I pulled it off because
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to know what's next.
Oh yeah, liquid and
How much?
lentils. I think we're gonna add like 2 cups, and then because this recipe was a big recipe. It called for like 3 cups of lentils and 2 onions and 6 cups of liquid, and we don't need that much. It's just Steph and I. So yes, thank you. You interrupt me anytime, my friend. We might need 3 cups of liquid. These lentils are gonna absorb quite a bit of water. So, and then because our zucchini and our yellow squash was canned, it's already super soft. So we're gonna add it in towards the end of cooking so we don't completely obliterate it. We want,
Yeah, it's pretty soft because it's canned.
yeah, if you're adding fresh, you could add the fresh probably now, and
Okay.
it would be fine. But we're gonna wait.
Okay.
Yep. So I do have some other examples here of other whole grains. So barley, rye, oats, millet, amaranth, teff, popcorn, which most people with dysphagia can't have.
No.
But we can always find like some of those puffed
Corn.
corn.
That doesn't have the hull.
Yep.
That melts in your mouth.
That melts in your mouth. That can still work at times.
For some, yes.
For some. Wild rice, which is actually a seed and not a grain, but semantics. Also difficult to puree because it's super chewy and that hull on the wild rice is really hard.
Yeah.
We're going to experiment a little bit and see if we can get it. We're going to try it.
Yes, we are.
Quinoa, rice, sorghum, and triticale. And a lot of those people I've never heard of.
I've not heard of triticale.
I don't know that I've ever seen it in a store, but now I'm going to be on the lookout because I'm super curious. I wonder if I can find it at like Whole Foods, or we have a store here that has a bulk section. I wonder if we can find it. I'll have to look. So fruits and vegetables. We want you to eat the rainbow. Choose lots of colors.
Mm-hmm.
We want blue and red and orange and purple and green and white and yellow and all the rainbow. I want you to eat all the colors. And you should have 7 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, which seems like a lot. And most of us, including myself, probably don't eat that much. I'm trying. I bought a bunch of fruit because my husband wants fruit all of a sudden. I'm like, hey, that's good for you. Let's eat it. So I have cantaloupe and blackberries and kiwi and
Nice.
all kinds of stuff.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. I know. Costco, it's cheaper. Who knew? Now I just have to get everyone to eat it before it goes bad. Because, you got to buy it in bulk, and that can be fun too.
Yep.
So the anti-inflammatory parts of our fruits and veggies are what give it the color. So the colorful portions of your food have these really beneficial phytochemicals and other bioactive compounds that people are still experimenting and learning about because we just don't know a lot about some of these things. So we're learning about why they're so good for you and why they benefit your health. It's more than just vitamins and minerals. So the color makes a huge difference.
Okay.
So lots and lots of color. So I talked about the fats a little bit. Talked about my favorite supplement already. Mm-hmm. But what foods?
Yeah, what foods? Obviously not bacon.
Not bacon. Bacon is saturated fat. That is inflammatory. Okay. So we like to limit that.
We can still eat it.
In moderation.
Okay.
Yes. Now, if you have an inflammatory disease, like an autoimmune disease or something along that line, you may want to cut those things out for quite a while and only eat them very, very sparingly because they will cause you to have some reactions. Some people see joint pain, upset stomach, headache, brain fog, etc. Your symptoms can be very wide-ranging, and this is why I tell all of our clients to do food diaries so they can sort of track what foods are doing to them. So cold water fish is the best source of omega-3 fats, which is why fish oil comes in supplement form. So this would be salmon, tuna, mackerel, cod, sardines, which I don't know very many people that eat sardines. I do. Gotta talk to these people, I guess.
Well, you know them very well.
Your family?
2 people in my family
I
love them.
I love it. And they're also very healthy, from what I think, anyway.
They are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm told.
Yeah, they're super high in omega-3 fats. And then we also have our vegetarian sources like chia seeds, which we've cooked with or made recipes out of before.
Yes.
They absorb water, super delicious. They slide right down most of the time, unless you crunch them, and then they don't slide down super well.
Well, look, I've been trying to increase my chia seed
Good job.
usage. I have found, and for people who have dysphagia and have issues with texture, chia seeds can be a problem because they have texture. If you can tolerate applesauce, I have found that by adding it to applesauce, so I've been playing around with different things. Applesauce plus a little bit of water, so that you have enough water to soak it up. It does not change. It is the texture of the applesauce.
That's really interesting.
Completely the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Texture.
I like it. So then we also have like flax seeds. And flax seeds don't have the omega-3 benefit unless you grind them. So for anyone with dysphagia, you're not going to eat them anyway because they're high in texture. So if you can grind them to a super, super fine, I put mine in a coffee grinder and just let them go. And then I can add them to certain liquids. You don't want to cook them because then that diminishes their omega-3 availability. But if you blitz them in your coffee grinder until they're just fine powder, they should mix into a lot of things like smoothies and things like that.
Gotcha.
And then we have things like pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and sunflower seeds that are high in omega-3s. Now, of course, you're not just going to eat these, but they make sunflower butter.
Oh, yeah.
That's smooth. That's a good source of omega-3s.
Yeah.
Sesame,
This one?
yeah, pumpkin seeds. We should maybe try to puree those at some point.
Maybe we can try tonight.
Tonight? All right.
I'm good with it.
Impromptu experiment. I like it. Okay, and those are delicious. So
Yes, they are.
she brought those to me at the hospital. Also a good source of magnesium, which helps calm. I needed that at that moment. Super helpful. And then sesame seeds, tahini, which we've used.
Just smooth.
Tahini is a great source of iron, and it's a great source of omega-3s, and it's smooth. It's thick, so you have to thin it out, but it's smooth.
But that's what goes into hummus.
Yep, exactly. Olive oil, my favorite oil of choice for us to cook with. And then, like I said, walnuts, almonds, cashews, and Brazil nuts are also good sources of high quality fats. So we want you to avoid trans fats and hydrogenated fats because those are the worst kind you can put in your body, and they will cause your body to have damage on the inside that's going to just make your inflammation way worse. So we recommend avoiding fried foods for this reason because it just wreaks all kind of havoc on your insides and your body just can't quite tolerate that. Yes, they're delicious. I understand this. But they're really, really hard on your body, especially if you have inflammation going on.
Well, and we may have had our tater tot day in the hospital. So
we did.
When you need it, you need it.
True. And it was needed that day.
It was.
But my tummy might have been upset afterwards.
Yeah, well, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. Been there.
Yep. So I mentioned herbs and spices. So I had that turmeric. It's one of my favorites. It's very strong flavored, so you don't need to add much. And you want to add it to something that has fat into it because your body doesn't absorb turmeric well in a water-based. So typically we put turmeric in coconut milk because it's high in fat and it's easy for your body to absorb. Coconut milk also a relatively good source of good fat, even though it is saturated fat. It comes from a plant source, and so that does have some phytochemical benefits for your body. Ginger, another of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Oh, love it. Garlic, which we have in our soup. My list says curry, which is basically made of turmeric and ginger and garlic. And some other things. Just buy the paste. It's so much easier.
Yep.
Cinnamon.
Oh, that's always good.
Yep. Cinnamon is very anti-inflammatory. Add it to your hot cereal. Add it to any baked good that you're gonna like soak with milk. If you can tolerate like a soaked cake or cookie or anything like that, you can always add cinnamon. That's anti-inflammatory. And then herbs like rosemary, basil, thyme, oregano, all really, really great for your body.
Nice.
I love my herbs. I tend to go a little overboard because I love my herbs so much. And then tea. So all the teas, great for you. They're high in something called polyphenols, which are really beneficial to your body. And I also wanted to ask you, when we're talking with someone with dysphagia, there have been times where you have said, drink something warm. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? So tea would be a great time to do, what does that do? What's the word I'm looking for? Sensory wise.
Well, the most recent, when I said drink something warm, it was about someone who was, felt like something got stuck. And it happened to be a nut butter. It sounded a bit like it maybe was just a little bit of residue. And so I said that so that she could use the warmth to kind of help melt it off of holding on to the mucous membrane.
Yeah.
I think that's what she was feeling.
Yeah.
So if it's like a nut butter or something thicker like that, it will help too. It may also help your mucous membrane to excrete a little bit of moisture,
which is
to
super
help
important.
move things. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes the steaming the nasal cavity, just having something warm in your mouth. If you have something that has gone up instead of down, the steam can help to make it move.
Wash it back down, sort of.
Right, or make the mucous membranes release and secrete some.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's one. I also sometimes recommend that people alternate warm and then cold, and then warm and then cold. And what that would do is that is a sensory.
Makes sense. I was going to ask you that next, so I'm glad you just brought it up.
Yeah, it was more. It's more about increasing the sensory reception.
Yeah.
In the swallowing.
Because
mechanism.
sometimes your sensation is off.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the problem for a lot of people, we're finding. So if this is you, or you feel like you have questions about this, maybe book a call with us so we can A, hear your story, and B, see if it might be a good fit for you to work with us, because
I think probably 85 to 90% of the people that we're working with right now have that sensory imprint issue. So doing the alternation is
sometimes helpful.
Very helpful.
Yeah. Karen, nice to see you too.
Hi, Karen. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it was your birthday this week. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a great time. It feels like it's stuck, but not. For some people, Alyssa, that's true. And it could be because of inflammation. So inflammation at times causes swelling, right? So if you sprain your ankle, it may get swollen. That's from inflammation. So if that's happening on the inside, we can't necessarily see that. But and this is just me. I could be wrong, so correct me. But if you have some swelling in there because it's irritated or red or something, and something gets stuck, it could
be, or even if it just passes by, that sensory imprint will remain.
So it would be like one of those pillows that you like put your hand in and it leaves the imprint of your hand.
Exactly.
That can happen on the inside. So it feels like it's there because it was there. You are not imagining things. You feel it because something is going on.
Well, and whether it's there or not, it's still an issue. We've got to address that sensory imprint. So being told there's nothing there, so go home and eat, bothers me because then that creates more anxiety and concerns about what's really going on because you feel it. And that's an issue. We don't want you to continue to feel it like that. So that's a lot of what we're working towards.
Yes. So what things do we need to limit? So things that you may eat that can contribute to inflammation would be things like chemicals. So this could be artificial sweeteners like diet soda, aspartame, sugar-free foods, low-fat foods. If there are, I have garbanzo beans here because I didn't even mention legumes, also anti-inflammatory. So if you're reading an ingredient list, like this is farro. So it literally says nothing because it's just farro in this bag. There's nothing else added. Sometimes there are, like this ingredient, walnuts. Now, if you were to look at something that's packaged, it's going to have like additives and preservatives, and all of those chemicals could potentially be contributing to your inflammation. So there's a reason we recommend that people cut down on processed food, because that process could be adding things in that are making you feel worse because your body is not supposed to have those things inside of it. Did I say that clearly enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think so. Did
I
you say that clearly enough?
Yes. Please tell me if that was not clear and I will try to rephrase. So the next thing that we encourage you to limit or avoid is alcohol, because alcohol is considered a toxin and your body has to detox that, specifically with your liver, and that can affect some other processes. It also, like anyone that's had a hangover, the next day feels fatigue, pain, weakness, maybe some nausea, headache. Those are all signs that there's inflammation going on, and that's caused by something that was put in the body, and that's not a good, like that's not healthy, right? So we recommend you cut back on alcohol. Now the Mediterranean diet says have a glass of red wine, but they don't say have a bottle of red wine. They say have a glass of red wine, right? So stress. Stress is not something you eat. Stress can cause you to eat or not eat, but stress causes a physiologic response in your body. We've talked about this before with the gut-brain interaction, and that stress causes anxiety, it causes nausea, it causes all kinds of, thank you for joining us, buddy. It causes these inflammatory processes to happen in your body. They say stress can cause your cortisol, which is a hormone that they say increases belly fat, right? So, oh, one of the puppies got some celery. It was anti-inflammatory puppy, don't worry. Sorry. He enjoyed chewing on it.
I dropped celery earlier today and I thought I picked it all up.
Whoops. Hey, there are worse things he could have been chewing on.
He didn't like it, obviously.
So stress. So it's really important to get your stress under control, to identify your stressors. Now, this is not to say that all stress is bad, because just like inflammation, acute stress or good stress can be a good thing, but chronic ongoing stress is not good. So it's really important to find ways to address your stress and keep it to a minimum. That could be removing certain stressors from your life. It could be learning deep breathing. It could be exercising. It could be a number of different things.
I might have to add some more water.
Those lentils soaked up a lot of water, so yeah, it wanted me to add 3 cups of lentils to the recipe. So this is the other thing. If you have a recipe and you're not sure that it's gonna work, maybe send us a message so I can look over it, because lentils, legumes, like chickpeas, beans, grains, they all absorb water, and so sometimes you always have to add extra. So side note. So the next thing we want you to avoid are anything that you're allergic to. Allergies are an immune response from your body to something your body doesn't like, and it can be a life-threatening event, right? So if you're allergic to walnuts and you eat a walnut, you could potentially go into anaphylactic shock. This is not good. Do not eat things that cause your body to have that kind of a response, right? Yes, it's common knowledge, but this increases inflammation in a way that is unhealthy. And then we have food sensitivities. So, like, I don't do well with certain kinds of oil. I stick with olive oil, and I use canola oil on occasion. If I use soybean oil, I get a weird gut. So I just try to stay away from that. There are other foods that you may eat that cause you to have achy joints. If you have an inflammatory autoimmune disease already, you may find that something like potatoes causes you to have weird symptoms. So stay away from potatoes. It's not an allergy, but it's a sensitivity. Sometimes sensitivities are really hard to track, so it's helpful to write out your food diary and then track what your symptoms are, and that way you can figure out what you ate and what the symptom was, and after some time you can line it up. Yes, it's a lot of work. Will it improve your quality of life over time? 100%. It's just time consuming. It's hard. It's rough. And then anything highly processed. So anything that has all those ingredients, especially ingredients you can't read. Ultra processed food are foods that you can't make in your kitchen because you just don't have access to any of those ingredients. Like Oreos, you can't make Oreos because we can't get those ingredients. They're chemically processed ingredients. They're not great for you because they're fake, for lack of a better word. So refined carbs, anything that's highly processed, like white bread, pasta. Stick with something like the red lentil pasta or the chickpea pasta that we've used because it's less processed and has higher fiber and higher protein. You're gonna smack me for this one. Are you ready? French fries.
I love French fries.
Because they're typically fried.
Right. Well, when I'm sick, bring me French fries.
I do know that.
I don't eat them often, but when
yeah,
that's my comfort food.
It's a comfort food for some people. So mashed potatoes and French fries are not the same thing either.
I don't like mashed potatoes as much.
Oh, I love it. We're not always good to ourselves either. We are learning just like everyone else.
It's an occasional thing.
Yeah, everything in moderation, unless you're allergic to it, and then don't eat it.
Well, that's true.
Shortening, like highly processed vegetable shortening, like
Like
Crisco, yep. It's man-made fat, basically. It's not good for you. So I would go with something a little more natural, like butter or coconut oil, or even, my list says lard, but in all reality, lard is sometimes easier for people to process than a highly processed shortening like Crisco. It depends on you though. If you don't tolerate pork products, stay away from pork products, including lard. My list says red meat. So our red meat in this country is very, very, it's a processed type of commodity. Our cows are not fed well. They are fed corn, which cows were not meant to eat originally. Corn can sometimes be very hard on people as well. So if you are struggling with some feeling, try to cut back on your red meat intake and stick with things that are a little more less processed. Can be very difficult. I realize what I'm saying can be very difficult because I myself struggle with this also. But just a thought, if that gives you trouble, try to cut back on it and see if you feel better. And then lastly, sugar. So my list says soda because it's basically sugar, a sugary drink. Mm-hmm. But anything that has sugar in it is really, really hard on your body. So sugary drinks, candy, baked goods, anything that has sugar in it is contributing to your inflammation. So cut back on your sugar and see how you feel. You're probably going to go through withdrawal at first because that whole sugar crash thing is real. Mm-hmm. If you are eating a lot of, I know, Kara, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you're eating a lot of sugar or drinking a lot of soda, even if it's diet soda, because it's got those fake artificial sweeteners, which are chemicals, right? They're all contributing in one way or another to how you feel. And I talk to people a lot, like I tell people, don't look at the scale. We don't care what the number on the scale is. I care about how you feel. Because if you feel like crud, you're trying to lose weight, you're probably not going to lose weight because you feel so terrible. Because there's something else going on. Mm-hmm. It's typically not about weight. Like, I hate that every time I go into the hospital to talk to someone, I have to talk to them about weight because...
That's how we measure it, though.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
I totally disagree with how we do things in healthcare, weight-wise. But the weight is sometimes a symptom of an inflammatory process. So if you can get the inflammation under control through eating some of these healthier anti-inflammatory foods, your weight may fix itself.
Right. So I have a question. You talked about sugar. What about honey?
Great question. So I am a big fan of the natural sugars like raw honey, maple syrup, agave that are less processed. Now honey and maple syrup are my favorites because they're the least processed. Like literally they come from nature, right? Maple syrup comes out of a tree and honey comes out of the beehive.
It's made its own candy.
Yeah. So it's nature's candy.
This is honey straight from bees.
So I have been, or stevia. So my new favorite is stevia. I grew stevia last year.
Yeah, you did.
And we played with it a little bit and
we
it was
did.
Fascinating.
We made a tincture.
We made a tincture and it was bright green and beautiful.
It was.
And if you dry it and you can powder it, you can
soft.
Yeah. Can you show them without, I don't think it'll drip on your computer because it's pretty slow moving. What is your view about stevia? Karen, I love stevia because I know it comes from a plant. I have tasted the leaves and it's
so sweet.
Amazing how sweet it is.
So we made a tincture. So you put the leaves
in some
vodka. And then that just it turned
like bright vanilla. Green. Yeah, so it's just like vanilla. So vanilla beans, you put it in some vodka or some brandy, and then you have vanilla extract. And then it's cheaper also than buying vanilla extract at the store. Right. But if you just take just a little tiny bit of it, the other thing you do, because I told you to avoid alcohol, right? You could use glycerin, which you can buy on Amazon. I know this because I did. I can't find it anywhere else. You can put the leaves or whatever, like I also make lemon balm like tinctures. You can put it in glycerin and the glycerin pulls out all the good components as well. And glycerin is a much more natural compound and not as hard on your body as well. And a lot of natural medicine, they use glycerites for children because we don't want to give children alcohol.
Right.
So we just soak our plant material, whether it's stevia, lemon balm, catnip is used as a mild sedative for people. It makes a great tea also, and my cat loves it. Sidebar, sorry. So I love stevia. If you can find the less processed stevia, use that as your sweetener. We're gonna try to see how much I can grow this year and dry and then powder, because if we can use that instead of sugar, because I bought another stevia plant. It's like this tall right now. I'm really excited about it.
Freeze-dried stevia leaves?
I think we're gonna try to freeze dry it, yeah, and see what happens. See if we can powder it and make a nice natural, because it comes from the plant. I've got it at my house. So the whole point, try to avoid sugar. So if you eat sweet potato and you have a reaction to that, you probably have a sensitivity, so don't eat sweet potato, right? So there is some, I guess I'll stop for a second. How are we doing on our soup?
It needs salt.
Salt it, baby. Yeah. Did you add the herbs too?
I did. Obviously not. We have a lot.
It's
Because
okay.
I can't hardly taste it. So
Well,
I'm going to put a little more.
Throw a little more in there. Okay. So, Mark. Hi, Mark. Doesn't come from the tree deliberately. Yes. Yeah. That's true. So you do have to. I only buy the pure maple syrup because I agree the corn syrup, like Caro syrup, is not good for you. It's highly processed and it probably comes from GMO. Not that I have a problem with some GMOs, but corn is just one of those things that the more we mess with corn, the more inflammatory it becomes. So I just caution people with corn in general, because it doesn't have a lot of nutritional value. And yes, if we make sugar out of corn, that's a whole nother problem. That's why they had all the issues about high fructose corn syrup years ago, and now we aren't talking about it as much anymore. But yes, if you can buy pure maple syrup, that's preferable. If you can't, because it's crazy expensive, which I understand. It's also, it's not as processed as others. So yes, I hope I changed that. It tastes much better. Yes. Hey, we're in Indiana. Well, we're not in Indiana right now, but I live in Indiana. So maple syrup is one of those things that I've wanted to go to I don't know if they have farms or I don't know. I feel like there's one near here. I just don't know where it's at. And I want to learn the whole process. I want to learn all about it because I just like to know how I get my food from nature to my table. So yes, thank you for that. That is fantastic information. I was at work one day and they were going to throw out a gallon of maple syrup and I was like, you can't do that. That's liquid gold. Do not throw it out. It was like a gallon of pure maple syrup. So I smuggled it out and I took it home.
I got a jar of it too.
I gave you some.
Yeah.
Can't waste that. That tree produced that for us.
Well, I have a friend at work too that tapped her maple trees this spring, and I got a jar of her maple syrup too.
Yeah. Nature is beautiful. We should take care of it and preserve it and appreciate it and not let these things go to waste.
Right. Just find people who
care.
You can trade. Like I traded some of my honey for some of her maple syrup.
I love it. So let's talk about nightshades a little bit.
Okay.
Do you know about nightshades?
Well, I know what nightshades are. I've got some planted out there right now. Quite a few, actually.
Nightshades are typically tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, eggplant, and I think I got them all. Yeah. So
I have all of those out there.
They're delicious. Let me start there. I'm an Irish girl. I love me some potatoes. There is a group of people out there that thinks that nightshades contribute to inflammation. My grandmother was one of those people. She would have sworn, God bless her, God rest her soul, she swore that eating a potato put her in a wheelchair for like 5 years. She never touched another potato after that.
Is that so?
And I was so sad for her. But I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know what the circumstances around that were because I was pretty young. So she always told me, don't eat potatoes. They're bad for you. They're going to cause you all kinds of problems. Well, I don't typically have reactions to potatoes. Like, they don't cause me joint pain. They don't cause me GI upset. They don't do anything to my skin. I don't get brain fog when I eat them. Like, I just try to pay attention to what my body's telling me, and then I avoid the, I missed this comment from Mark. Hold on. Brown County every year. Oh, yeah. I lived just south of Green Bay for a while there, too.
Wisconsin girl. Both my kids went to UW-Madison.
So there's no research to prove that nightshades cause inflammation. But this just comes back to my statement. If you think that something causes you to feel a certain way and it's not good, don't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Cut it out of your diet.
There are too many other things that you can eat
Mm-hmm.
than to make yourself sick.
Yep. So this, I have, a study in the Journal of Nutrition in 2011 showed that colored potatoes lower blood markers of inflammation in healthy men. So there is a study saying that, like, purple potatoes are anti-inflammatory. My guess is because it's that purple
The color.
compound in
We
there.
talked about the color earlier.
The colors are super important. They do something good for your body. So just
Little
disclaimer,
right?
listen to your body. Your body is smart. It will tell you what you need to know. Sometimes what it says is like a whisper and you have to listen really, really hard. So just pay attention, write down symptoms. And when I say, like, keep a food diary, write down, like, what you ate, how much, and then did you have brain fog, headache, GI upset, rash, mood changes, emotional changes that were not related to something else that happened. Purple potatoes, super easy to puree, or are they starchy? Purple potatoes are just like regular potatoes in texture. So they will puree the same way. I would say don't put your potatoes in a blender, use a mixer, like a hand mixer, or so you're probably gonna have to peel them also, because the peels are gonna be, the peels are good for you, but if you need them pureed, take the peels off. They are just as starchy as regular potatoes. I gotta sneeze. Sorry.
I had to
It's
walk
gonna
over
come out
there to
this way.
sneeze.
It's
Allergies.
tis the season.
We are blooming.
Yep, I know. Okay, that's all I got for information-wise. And I hope I got everything that I wanted to talk about. Hey, bless you too, Kara. Thank you. I hope I covered as much as I could. So I do really, Patty, Mama Patty, thank you for letting me borrow this book this evening. It was super, super helpful. It's got lists of food in here that are just great for you. It talks about food allergies and tolerances. It's got a whole list here of foods that you should include and foods that you should avoid. Now, these are, of course, subjective. The person that wrote this book felt a certain way about this. So, like, this avoid list has, like, barley and bulgur wheat and kamut because these are gluten containing. They're avoiding gluten for this. So if you can tolerate gluten, eat the gluten containing grains. That looks beautiful.
It does. Now, for those who are on soft and bite size,
This would be okay.
or dysphagia,
Minced and moist.
Oh, it probably could be minced and moist. Now, my chunks of
Squash.
zucchini and squash are pretty big, but that cuts.
But they're super soft. Like, this fork totally just disintegrated this zucchini.
And
so let me move my.
And it cuts with a
out the way
fork
here.
and you can mash it with a fork. So
Yep. So minced and moist, this would be appropriate.
yes.
So
Yeah,
let's.
minced and moist is never going to be super smooth. It's just if you can mash it through a fork. Are they still not done?
Yeah, but they're green lentils. They don't cook as fast as red lentils, so I apologize. I was trying not to keep you here forever. We've already been here for almost an hour, so sorry about that, everybody. I do talk a lot. Nothing's changed. I'm still me.
You're very good at talking. I like that about you. I am a speech therapist, so.
Thanks. Appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna throw some of this in here. We might have to get a little bit of extra liquid. Hot, hot. Hot, hot. Don't burn yourself, please. I'm gonna grab a towel and we're gonna blend this the way we did 3 weeks ago now. Sorry, I lost 2 weeks, everybody. I'm so sorry. I want to say last week, but
When was the last time we did
it was
this?
a long time ago. I can't remember
Is that enough?
what we made at this point. I think it is. Let's find out. All right, so that was enough. Lentils are starchy. They will thicken. So yes, they should thicken.
Kara said, please do not apologize. Always family first.
Oh, Kara, you're sweet. Thank you. I am so grateful for all of you for your compassion because I sure needed it. Steph talked me off a ledge more than once, so yeah.
You're fine.
We were okay. I was okay.
Sounds like it's blending really well.
It's blending really well for the second. So I haven't said this in a while because we haven't been here in a while. Blend again. She is a good egg, you're right. If you need to, blend again, right?
Blend again.
Blend again. I'm gonna.
If it doesn't seem right, blend again.
And you may need to salt it a little more.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it's perfectly smooth. Oh, Susie, thank you. Love you.
Hi, Susie.
She kept me saying too from across the country. That's good.
It is good. However, if you feel like it sucks away some of the seasoning, you can put a touch more.
I'm glad you added more herbs.
I did. Yeah.
Because when you blend, the flavors kind of get muted. So you need a little bit extra. So when you're cooking specifically to blend, add extra seasoning.
Right. I would be careful with the salt and just add a little bit as you go.
Salt at the end, just to.
But in terms of the herbs, yeah.
So this is beautifully smooth.
Wow.
And if you got a little bit of creme fraiche or sour cream and you thinned it out just a little bit and put it right over the top, it would add a nice little bit of richness.
Yeah.
You could also use Greek yogurt, or they make a nice dairy-free sour cream that would probably have the same effect. You just thin it out just a touch. And
you may not have to thin it out. If you don't need it thin,
it might just melt
the
in
soup
there.
itself will, soften it. And
Yeah. I like the zucchini in there. It adds a little bit of earthiness. The lentils do
that's
too.
actually very good.
It's really good. Super simple.
I prefer it like this because I'm not a fan of the way lentils feel in my mouth.
I think I prefer it blended as well.
This is,
it's okay. But here's the thing.
it tastes good. I just don't like the way lentils feel in my mouth.
Yeah.
So
The
I
texture.
would puree mine.
This is better pureed than whole. I like it. I love it when we find things that are better pureed. So Karen, I would say IDDSI level, this is probably about a 4. It's pureed. It's not liquidized. If we were to add a little more water, we could get it to a level 3.
Yeah. I would definitely say level 4.
It's like right between level 3 and level 4.
It is between level 3 and because it's not thick like a.
It's not like pudding. Like it doesn't
or a mashed potato or
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So but it's not liquidized either. So
Yeah.
it's I would say between.
Yeah, I would say it's probably closer to 4 than 3, but yep, Kara. So this soup recipe blends beautifully. You're gonna have to adjust the seasoning a little bit depending on what flavors you like. We used thyme and oregano, dried thyme and oregano. You could use fresh. They will puree beautifully fresh. You can always add more zucchini. We could have added like bell pepper. You can't even tell that there's celery in there because it just broke down really, really small.
It cooked for quite a while.
So there's a couple other recipes in here like carrot ginger soup and things
that sounds really good.
That maybe we'll make next week.
Okay.
Unless someone else has an idea that they would prefer that we make next week.
Tell us what you want. We are,
We're here for you.
Yes. This is all about you.
Guys, I'm so grateful. And I'm so grateful that I get to be here and I get to give you information and answer your questions.
Yes.
And my gratitude level is like at an all-time high. So thank you all. Send us your questions. Gnocchi. Tell me more, Kara. Tell me more about gnocchi. Love. It's a potato dumpling.
Are you wondering if it will
You want us to make gnocchi? I've got some in my freezer. I can bring it. We can try it. Sweet potato. We can do something with sweet potato. I got one right here.
Yeah.
I did a really lovely sweet potato just side a couple weeks back. How to puree some that are already made. I can have roasted sweet potato and we can figure out how to puree it. Maple syrup, cinnamon, a little bit of cayenne pepper just for a little bit of warmth.
And Kara, are you talking about pureeing gnocchi?
No clue how to do it. We can do gnocchi next week.
Some frozen ones from Sprouts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That might be a fun experiment for us.
It would be a really fun experiment.
Gnocchi
Let's do it.
in a yummy mushroom sauce.
Is it sweet potato gnocchi or is it regular gnocchi? Susie, my friend that said y'all rock, she was telling me about Sprouts recently too.
Yeah.
And how great they are. It's like a chain on the, see? Yep, yes. It's a grocery chain out on the West Coast.
Oh, from Sprouts.
Okay.
Okay.
I was asking me if I'm going to eat them and sweet potato. Oh, okay. Well, tell you what, we'll do gnocchi and something sweet potato next week.
Yes.
Done. We can do that. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Have a great week, and thank you for joining us tonight.
And we apologize for being gone, but you know what?
We're back.
You're right. Family first, and we are back, and I'm so excited.
We're ready to
Yeah.
hit the ground running.
I can't wait. This Wednesdays are like the highlight of my week at this point. I love doing this for you. So thank you all.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Let us know if you have more questions. Otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.